Hey everyone, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Chade Arena. Oh baby, we got a good one today. If you're a 90s or 2000 baby, then you definitely grew up watching Seth MacFarlane's masterpiece Family Guy. It was a titan. It was one of the only shows that could take on the powerhouse that was The Simpsons, and there's some people out there that would argue that Family Guy is actually better than The Simpsons. Family Guy was definitely willing to take the jokes places Simpsons wouldn't even think about touching. But just like Simpsons, Family Guy has a ton of conspiracy theories about it, with everything from hidden messages to predictions of the future. That's why I put together today's list of top 10 scary Family Guy theories. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, follow Most Amazing Top 10 on social media like Facebook and Twitter. You can get to know all the hosts a little bit better, and without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Number 10. Family Guy called out Kevin Spacey. We all know about the once beloved star of Game of Cards who turned out to be a horrible person behind closed doors, doing all sorts of creepy things to people. I'm not going into detail about it, but if you're watching House of Cards and you have no idea, do a quick Google search and just ruin the show for yourself. Well, Family Guy did a small joke in one episode that seemed to be calling Kevin Spacey out for all the gross crap he was doing. That scene aired way before any of the stuff came out about K-Pax. So it seemed like maybe a few people knew what was going on with Kevin Spacey when no one was looking, but nobody had the balls to call him out except for the people at Family Guy. It makes you want to look through every celebrity reference that there ever was to see if they're all true. Like, is Ringo Starr actually from the future? How else did he get in the Beatles? Number 9. Brian is Seth MacFarlane. So if you know a little bit about Family Guy, you know that the creator, Seth MacFarlane, is the voice of so many different characters on the show, one of those being the lovable canine personality Brian. And by lovable, I mean an alcoholic who's always going through some sort of existential crisis. Now, out of all the characters that Seth voices, Brian is the only one that he doesn't change his voice for. Many people speculate that Seth MacFarlane does that because Brian is supposed to be him in the Family Guy universe. He is one of the only characters on the show who seems to be a fully functioning person. He shows empathy, he's easily the smartest person on the show, and he takes a political stance that is very close to what the creators are. Not to mention he gets to hook up with super hot rockets all the time. He parties super hard, and at times he seems to be so self-aware he knows he's in a TV show. If I was gonna make a show, I would definitely put myself in the show, but my character would be able to rip a backflip at any moment without even trying hard. Number 8. QUAHOG is a science experiment. Why do so many weird things keep happening in the Griffins' hometown of QUAHOG? Well, it's because the show is meant to be an over-the-top comedy that will sometimes push things to the absurd to make a joke. This allows the writers to play around with a lot of weird things that is never needed to be addressed. Well, that's the logical answer, but we're not here for that. We want weird conspiracy theories about the show's lore. Well, one is that the whole town is a giant science experiment. How do you get so many weird things into a town and have people go through their lives like nothing's happening? You got talking dogs and babies, giant chickens that are ready to have insane fights at the drop of a hat, and how does a family afford to raise 3 kids when it seems like nobody ever works? That's the craziest part. I'm juggling like 18 things, and when I order pizza, I gotta make sure I stretch it for like 18 days because I can't afford to have fun more than once a week. It could be a giant government experiment, or maybe everyone's stuck in purgatory. Number 7. Peter is in love with Lois in real life. As we already covered, Seth MacFarlane is the voice of many characters on Family Guy. Those characters being Peter, Brian, Quagmire, and Stewie. Now, a common theme with all these characters is that they all have an undying love for Lois, who is voiced by Alex Borstein. A theory behind all of Seth's characters being so attracted to Lois characters like turds to a blanket is that in real life, Seth MacFarlane is in love with Alex. We already know that the show likes to send out secret messages to its viewers. Maybe this was a fling in the past. The two could have been bumping uglies before the show was ever a thing, and Seth still has a little bit of a soft spot for his co-star. Or maybe they're just straight up banging. Maybe the whole cast has giant orgies before they record as like a team building exercise, just so everyone can get loose, you know, just get ready for it. Number 6. The whole show is someone's imagination. Yes, I understand that the show is actually someone's imagination. Like, writers imagine the show, it's not made in real life. Don't write a bunch of comments and make me have to post the SpongeBob meme in response. But I mean, the show is written from the perspective collective of someone's imagination, specifically Stewie's imagination. So many crazy things happen in the show. Stewie's at the center of most of these things. This could be because the whole show is taking place inside the baby's brain. I mean, it would make sense. In Family Guy, Stewie presents himself as the most sophisticated member of the family. I'm sure in all our heads we see ourselves as suave and intelligent when we're mostly spilling food on our clothes while we're rewatching a show we didn't even like the first time we watched it. He's also able to create so many crazy things like time machine and weapons of mass destruction. Maybe in reality the Griffin family is all pretty normal, but we're just catching a glimpse of what their youngest member thinks their lives are like. Number 5. The Griffins have been using Stewie to get super rich. How does one middle class family living in New England do so many extravagant things? I mean, in one episode there can be more fireworks, backup dancers, and costume changes than a Lizzo concert. They also have access to technology that is far beyond the grasp of someone working a 9 to 5. Trust me, I'm in that world and I'm not getting a helicopter with my face on it in the near future. I mean, it's in my 5-year plan, like I'm not a peasant, I'm just saying I couldn't buy one tomorrow. While the way the Griffins might be able to live such a life of excess is because they've been using Stewie. In the episode A Picture's Worth $1,000, Stewie becomes a Calvin Klein model, and ever since then it seems that money has been no problem for the Griffins. This could be because Stewie never stopped shaking his little diaper butt around for those dollars. He's a forever baby, he knows how to talk, he's probably the easiest baby model to work with, he's not gonna poop his pants and cry, and he'll never blink. Number 4. Brian used to be a human. How does a dog get such an expensive taste for alcohol without spending time as a depressed man who needs to drown his sorrows? To all the people who that just triggered, I don't mean you drink because you need to drown your sorrows, you drink for the taste, it's not to drown the boo-hoos, I know. But this theory is backed up by a little bit of a crossover. There isn't just one Seth MacFarlane cartoon, but there are many, one of them being American Dad. In the show there's a little perverted, possibly Nazi-affiliated fish named Klaus. Now Klaus used to be a German skier, but the CIA took his brain and put it into a fish's body, which seems like a huge L. You go from skiing and being blonde to swimming around your own poop all day. Not good. Well, there's a chance that all Seth MacFarlane shows exist in the same universe, like the Marvel universe, but they talk about genitals way more. If it's true that the two shows float around the same world, that means they could use the same technology that they used to put Klaus in the fish body to put Brian into a dog body. Number 3. A show within a show. Oh my god, you guys, we're gonna get into showception. It's gonna be like Inception, but with zero famous people or special effects or big budget or Christopher Nolan. It's gonna be like the real thing, except nothing like it. Well, now that I'm done with that weird rant, this theory is that Family Guy is actually a TV show within the American Dad TV show, or American Dad is a show within the Family Guy TV show. This is supported by the numerous times the show has broken the fourth wall and talks directly to the audience. There's even a few opening gags where it seems like they screwed up the whole intro. This could be another explanation for the show's wacky hijinks, but I don't really think it makes the viewing process that much different. Number 2. Stewie isn't Lois's son. Oh baby, get Morgan on the phone, we gotta get to the bottom of this. So this is some hot Family Guy gossip I pulled from the interweb, that Stewie isn't Lois's kid but might be Meg's kid. That Meg got pregnant and she was either too scared or didn't want to get an abortion, but Lois was being a good mom and wanted to save her the stardom followed by humiliation that comes with being a star on Teen Mom. She took the baby and claimed it as her own. It was easy to trick Peter and Chris that the baby was actually Lois's because the two are bumbling idiots. The rest is history. If this is true, then it's like super Jerry Springer level white trash gossip. Hidden moms, teen pregnancies, the show might as well be about a family coming together to start a meth lab. Actually, that would be a show I'd watch. It would be like Breaking Bad meets Full House. Number 1. Family Guy predicted Paul Walker's death. Just like The Simpsons, it seems like if you make enough episodes about something, you'll eventually predict the future. Imagine you could actually predict the future, and instead of becoming some sort of hero or billionaire, you worked on a TV show that made jokes about diarrhea. Well, this one is kind of creepy. There's an episode called Life of Brian where Brian is hit by a car and killed. Now this episode came out 6 days before the tragic car accident that killed Paul Walker. The connection here is that the character Paul Walker played in Fast and the Furious is named Brian. This could be a super weird coincidence, or there is actually a psychic working in the Family Guy writers room. Well everyone, that's our list and I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, follow Most Amazing Top 10 on Instagram and Facebook. There's so much more content over there and you can get to know myself and the other hosts just a little bit better. Until next time, I've been Chaderena and I'm gonna pray to the animator gods for a good future.